Hey guys, this video is set up so that way we can figure out how to do this next one. The next one's on combinations. Yesterday you guys dealt with permutations, where permutations the order mattered, where combinations the order doesn't matter. So yesterday when we were taking those things in NPR, we were saying as far as the order mattered, what section or what order you put them in, whereas a combination does not matter the order. So the formula that we have for combination says NCR n factorial over r factorial n minus r factorial. And that's the combination that we're going to use. Now, in the case of the problems that you guys had, the worksheet's going to look very similar to yesterday's, and actually the first four are the exact same things. It's just this time we're listing a combination rather than a permutation. Yesterday, one of the problems that you guys had T, V, and W, and it said list the possible permutations. And today it's going to say list the possible combinations. And it also says taken two at a time. Okay? So yesterday we had things and we had it all figured, or all different answers for this. But for combinations, when you take two, TV is the same as VT. So when we had it yesterday, we had to list both TV and VT. Today we don't. The order does not matter. So as far as it goes, when we list a TV, that's also covering it. The only other ones then we would have is T and W, and then V and W, and we're done. Yesterday when we were talking about permutations, that's where the order did matter. So we had things like TV and TW, but then we also had VW, VT, and then we had WT, and we had WV. So it mattered what one we picked first. So for example, if I pick Lynn and then Josh, I am picking them in a certain order, so that would be a permutation. Whereas if I were to throw everybody into a room and pick two at a time, and it didn't matter if I had Keanu and Michelle, for instance, then that combination is done. I cannot pick it wouldn't be where if I threw you guys back in, or if I picked Michelle first and then Keanu, it wouldn't matter. I've already used that combination. So combinations are going to be a little bit less than your permutations were yesterday. So when you're looking at taking three at a time or taking two at a time, the order does not matter. Okay? Now, getting down to the middle half of the worksheet, where on number 5 it says 22C20. The formula that I put on the first one again was n factorial over r factorial n minus r factorial. So on the first one, the top one, remember this is in the NCR fashion. So for this one, 22 factorial goes on the top. Then on the bottom, we'd have 20 factorial, and then 22 minus 20 on the inside. So 22 factorial, I'm not going to write all those out like I did yesterday because that's a big number. I don't want to have to write 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, and so on. So, but what I am going to do is on the bottom, 22 minus 20 is 2. Okay? So what's going to happen here is 22 factorial again was 22 times 21 times 20 and so on. But 20 factorial, once I get to that one, and you see the 20 factorial on the bottom, this wipes away all of this. Those cancel each other out. So if you've got 20 factorial on the top and 20 factorial on the bottom, they cancel each other out. So then all I'm left with is 22 times 21 over 2 times 1. Well, one other thing that I can cancel is this 2 can wipe away that 22 to make it 11. So then what I'm left with is 11 times 21. And 11 times 21 is 231. Okay? So that's how that formula is going to work out. It's going to be a little bit different than yesterday's, but ultimately it's going to be the same type of concept. So just to give you another example, number 6 has 11C8. So again, when I set it up, I have 11 factorial on the top, 8 factorial, and then 11 minus 8. So 11 factorial, and just so that you guys see, this one's not as big, so I can write it all down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8 factorial, if I put that here, I'm going to put it right underneath it so that you actually see what happens here. 1. This wipes out all of this. And then don't forget, 11 minus 8 is 3, and I'd have 3, 2, 1. Now, if you want, you can take 11 times 10 times 9, and then you can take 3 times 2 times 1 on the bottom, and take whatever the top is divided by whatever the bottom is. Now, if you don't have a calculator, this reduces to a 3, which would cancel this out. This reduces down to a nothing, that reduces to a 5. So now all I'm typing in is 11 times 5 times 3, which is 165. And again, if I were to take 11 times 10 times 9, I get 990 divided by 6, which is also 165. So that's how you're going to do the rest of the worksheet. Very similar to yesterday's when you get down to 11, where it says 4 times 18C11. You do the 18C11 first, get an answer, and then times it by 4. On 12, you would do the 20C16 first, and then add 1. 13, you would do the 20C5 first, and then divide it by 8, and then the same thing with 14. And then you do not need to do 15 and 16. I crossed those out on purpose. So anyway, I hope that helped as far as figuring out how to do the combinations. So I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Later.